Now, to start off with, I'm going to go to one of the calls. Now, you'll find this is interesting. This is from Dr. Wes Connor, who's a regular listener and been involved. He was an Eagles Club client of mine several years ago and has gone on to do all kinds of innovative things. But I want to have you listen to his call because it relates to listening to the podcast itself in a way that I related just a couple weeks ago. Listen carefully and you'll hear why I want you to hear Wes call.
Hey, Dan, it's Wes Connor. You've mentioned a few times in your podcast about me listening to audio 40% faster, most recently last week. I don't really like reading, and I learn a bunch through audio. I've probably got literally thousands of hours of courses on audio here in my office. And since my mind runs at 1,000 miles an hour anyway, I came up with a way to speed up the audio and get through the same material much faster. Here's a sample from your podcast last week. It's the clip where you call what I do nuts. There are people out there, like one of our regular listeners, Dr. Wes Connor, who takes the podcast here, and he increases the speed by 40%. So he's listening at a much faster rate. Now, that's nuts. I don't want to sound like Alvin the Chipmunk, but if you want to listen to it that way, that's cool. It takes about 10 or 15 minutes to get used to, but once you do, you won't want to go back to regular speed. It just takes a couple minutes on the front end, but it allows me to listen through an extra couple hours a week that I wouldn't have had time to listen to before. It's really easy to do, and I can explain it to anyone if they just want to send me an email at askwest@medicinecoach.com. Thanks, Dan, from one of your nutty Eagles Club graduates. I hope this will help somebody. Thanks. Bye.
Well, there you have it. Now, what I was referring to, and I mentioned that he speeds up the podcast so he can listen to audio content about 40% faster than what it's being spoken. Now, that's interesting because as a reader, I'm an avid reader, and I can read much faster than anybody can ever speak. So I go through content much faster than anybody could actually do that in a live presentation. That's why I like reading. West is not a reader. He's an audio learner. And so he takes audio content and has a simple procedure where he increases it by 40%. You heard me in there saying that I'm not sure I want to sound like Alvin and the Chipmunks, but that's how he listens to it. And again, if you want to do that, just shoot West a question. He had there, you can shoot him an email question at askwest, W-E-S-T, at medicinecoach.com. Thanks, West, for your input.